Hey guys, Cody here. I figured I'd make a video instead of typing the answers to your questions, because it's a lot more fun. And I don't really like typing, I'm not that good at it. It takes me a long time, so. For playing and touring experience, I've played in bands since I was like 14. I even have a DVD of the first show I ever played at a roller skating rink when I was 13. We covered a bunch of Misfit songs and stuff. That was really fun. But uh, I play, 2 to 10 shows a month. It's always kind of different at different parts of the year. In the summer, I obviously go to a lot of festivals. I've seen you guys there, and we pretty much try to hit one every weekend. So I've been to a lot of different places just from going to festivals. So as far as touring and stuff, I have no problem being on the road or in the car for long hours. Most of the time, I'm the one driving the full 8 hours to a festival and the full 8 hours back after the festival. So I'm used to that. Um, as far as the list of influences and why, first and foremost, I gotta say Black Sabbath. I am one of those guys. um, I like the way that they orchestrate all their songs. Um, Bill Ward, their drummer, he was an awesome drummer. I mean that whole band was just a powerhouse. Every song is good in my book. All of their albums, every song. Um, my second biggest influence, I guess I'd have to say, probably Soundgarden. As far as me playing drums, Matt Cameron, he's just a genius when it comes to writing drum parts. I mean, they have so many riffs that are just off time and it still just flows perfectly. And I really, really do feel that Matt Cameron is seriously like the biggest reason for that. His weird groove is really just it works perfect. And when I was growing up, playing along Soundgarden songs really helped me learn a lot of different like off time stuff. So that was pretty sweet. Pearl Jam is definitely one of my biggest influences. All their songs hit me somewhere deep. Um, the way the guitar players work together and just their jammy kind of sound, like if you listen to Even Flow, they got those parts in the middle where they're just soloing and they build it up, and it's really, really, they're really awesome. Um, I remember the first time I saw the Even Flow video when I was 13. It changed the way I drum. Uh, Matt Cameron from Soundgarden, he drums for them now, but their first drummer I really think was the best. The way he would roll on the hi hat and everything, that really brought light to me, on different things that I could do with the hi hat I had never thought of before. Um, the last one I'm going to include here is The Doors. I have John Densmore's book, and I've read it a few times. It's called Riders on the Storm, if you haven't heard of it. And the way that he talks about his style of playing drums in the book is pretty intriguing, and he the way he orchestrated all his drum parts, especially in some of those really deep jams, it's really unlike any other drummer out there. I mean, even in the book, he kind of mentions it himself. He's like, I really tried to make sure that each one of my drum parts had a kind of different flavor to it, but they're all still in the same meal. You know what I mean? So, I don't know. The Doors definitely were probably the first band I really listened to where they would just play songs and that were over 5 minutes long and just get into these deep jams and they were improvising, on a lot. Even some of the recordings, some of those parts in the recordings were just made right there in the studio. After however many takes or whatever, and that was just super awesome to me when I was younger too, and that's really what made me look into jam bands in the first place was probably the Doors. So they're pretty awesome. In the songs I would like to cover, in a perfect world, I would say How Many More Times by Led Zeppelin. Um, that song is just really awesome. I've never had the opportunity to play it with a full band, so that would always be really cool, I think. When the Music's Over by The Doors. That song's super cool. I don't I don't think I'll ever maybe get to play that song, honestly, just because the jamming with the keyboards and everything, it just if I was trying to get a true cover of that and get the true feel of the song, I don't know if it would work with two guitars. I think that might be kind of weird, but then again, I could be wrong, and I'm always down to try anything. Uh, Frankenstein by the Egger Winter Group. I know I've talked to Dave and possibly someone else in the band about how you guys should cover that. I've always thought that'd be sweet to see you guys play that. I know a lot of other people have did it, but um, that song's just awesome, man. There's all the parts in it are just great, and I think it would really get the crowd going. Uh, I would really really like to cover Paradise City by Guns N' Roses sometime in my life, whether it's live or just at a practice with a band. Just because Guns N' Roses really, and I should have listed them in my influences too, because they're kind of the band that changed it all for me. Until I really listened to Appetite for Destruction, I had just been playing punk music, and just like Weezer and stuff like that too. So the last song I'm gonna put on this list would be Cult of Personality by Living Colour. A couple years back, I was at All Good and I saw Galactic play, and they covered it, with the original singer from Living Colour, and that just really blew my mind. It was a incredible performance, really. As far as style and approach as to why I'd fit in the band, um, when I play with the band, I try to just let my drum parts flow. I don't really dissect my parts um, to try to make them better. Usually I just make my drum parts better by playing the song more and more. Um, I mean, I don't want to say that I don't put thought into my drum parts, but I really, I try to make sure it sounds as good as possible, even if that means keeping it simple for parts until uh, better fills or better drum parts, happen or come to mind. I try to be aware of matching my beat to certain rhythms, to certain parts of songs, just to accentuate that part. Like if it's a super awesome guitar part where like Dave and Mike are doing some arpeggios together, I'll start doing a fill to kind of match that and build it up, But for the most part, I just try to keep the straight groove and use fills when they're necessary, along with polyrhythms, when necessary. But I never stray too far from the main groove of the song. I can definitely improvise, and as far as dynamics, I play better dynamically when I'm with an actual group. It's really it's weird for me when I'm playing drums by myself to sit there and get softer and quieter. Like I've practiced that in school band a lot in the past, and I definitely understand dynamics. And with the group, it just definitely seems a lot easier. Um, I've seen you guys every time you've played in Erie. I've seen you guys at multiple festivals. I have a good grasp on all your recordings and also a good idea of how you guys connect on stage. I've sat there and watched you live, and I'll watch Mike, do his hand movements, and um, I definitely I think that if I were to jam with you guys in a live setting or in a practice setting, I don't think it would be too hard for me to follow along. Um, just because of the fact that I've seen you guys so many times, and I've watched your live recordings on YouTube. I've listened to the albums plenty, so That definitely always helps. Um, I've always made it a point to try and talk to you guys after the shows. Um, Mostly because for the most part, every time I'm at a festival, you guys are like my favorite band on the bill every time. And I mean, I've seen a lot of bigger bands, and I've been to a lot of festivals and even a lot of heavy metal shows and just stuff like that. And usually, if I see you guys on a bill, that it makes it that much better. You know what I mean? Um, your music makes me feel really great and happy, and I I would love nothing more than to contribute to that and strive with you guys to leave everybody in awe after the show, just as you guys pretty much left me every time. Still, um, that's something I really really would work my hardest to contribute to, and if I was part of the band, I would definitely want to make sure every show is a better show, you know, and just keep stepping up the game. That's really what it's all about. Like I totally believe that if you're not moving forward, you're moving backward. Um, Plus, you know, as far as like, you know, getting along with you guys personally, we all love Zelda, so we have that. We have that already. And then also, I would like to add too that as far as songs that I would like to cover, just for fun, at least at a practice sometime, if we could, if I'm in the band, if I do end up joining, I would really like to jam the song from School of Rock that they play at the end. I think that would be great. That's been something I wanted to do since I was 13. So, my current line of work right now, I actually work at Pizza Hut in Erie, and I do work there full time, but the general manager is actually one of my really good friends. So if I were to leave for whatever, it wouldn't even be a problem. Um, you know, if I were to come back on extended breaks that we would have, if I once again, this is, you know, if I was in the band, I would be able to pick up hours there and make extra money in the meantime. She would have no problem with anything like that. So that's really cool as far as that situation could be. I live in Erie. As far as relocating, I wouldn't really have any problem going to Buffalo if that's what needs to happen. My wife, Corey, she's totally on board with that idea too. She fully supports me in all of this. So that pretty much is about all I have for you guys in this video. You'll see the links for my drum videos following this video. The first song, as you'll see in the description, is a song I wrote with my buddy on FL Studios for fun one night, and I like just jamming along with it. Just the different parts, it really leaves a lot of free room for me to just kind of jam out to it. So usually every time I drum to that song, it's different, which is really fun. And then I have a recording of me covering Kitty Chaser. And I played along with the recording, which sometimes is kind of hard with you guys. Nick, the way he drums, it's really hard for me to do a completely different drum part or do my own thing when I'm hearing him in the background, because he's a good drummer, you know, and it's like I struggle with like wanting to drum my own way and wanting to drum his way, so doing that cover was kind of hard in some spots. But I only did a couple takes of it, and what I gave you guys in that video was pretty raw, just so you could get an idea as to how it would be if I were on stage or at practice with you guys and I'm playing a song that I haven't really played that many times, and I just have to go with it, you know, mess ups included. That's basically like what it would be like in that video. And then I have links to the website for the band I'm in now, which is a heavy metal band from Erie called Sarson. So if you guys want to check that out too, it's pretty cool. We have, you know, a full album on Spotify and everything, and merch available on our website and everything. So if you want to give that a listen, definitely let me know what you think about that too. If I do end up getting this part, I I have a drummer that can, you know, replace me in Starson, and he's filled in for shows for me in the past, you know, like in the summer and stuff when I couldn't play, um, if I was at a festival or something. So he already knows all the parts. Um, so I guess that about wraps it up here, and I can't wait to hear back from you guys. It was super cool making this video, and I hope you enjoy my stuff. Thanks.